In this lonely ass world, it's getting colder. I'm not going nowhere if I cannot take my boat there. My mind was bred a little different, yeah, from my own past. If I see heat, why the fuck would I wanna go there? Mama, I make you smiling. Mama, your little nigga came from wildin'. Mama, always got in trouble, I was shouting. Mama, now I'm staring at shit. Mama, I'm the pilot. Mama, if I want something, I'ma go get it. Mama, swim with the sharks, piranhas, and fishes. Mama, it's so hard down here, God is my witness. Mama, I know where I'm going. Mama, I'm a fan. It's hard not knowing who is really gonna be there for me. I wish you could be here to see me the day I start touring. Shit be on my mind every second when I'm not recording. I'm waking up conversating with the Lord every morning. I mistakenly took the wrong path, I had to rewind. I fumbled trying to move too fast, I had to keep trying. Growing up, I got in trouble, told myself to keep lying. So much stress be building up, swear I be needing me time.
Good morning to the DMV and the rest of the world. This is your girl Reese, aka the best that ever did it, aka and why I don't see myself on the screen, I don't know. Is there something that I need to do? Because I don't see me, and y'all know I need to see my face, so I know I make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right. Anyway, I don't even know what I look like. That's a daggone shame. Anyway, today is Wellness Wednesday, people, and this is where we try to give you all a little bit of what's going on in the wellness in the world. And just give me a second. I want to make sure that we are on publicly because I don't even see.
Yeah, we on.
Okay, I didn't even see anything. So, okay.
Hit the Safari, hit the internet thing at the bottom and your screen will pop back up. You got Safari. You're using Chrome. What you using?
I don't know what this is, but
it should be all the way at the bottom. It should be a window.
To the windows, to the wall. Let me see.
Hey, Mama Reynolds.
No, but it's okay, honey. Y'all, let me tell y'all, this is Wellness Wednesday, and yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? Because I also watched the Tom Mo show, right? And Miss Janice, Molly was just talking about when this young lady overreacted, or how she reacted when her baby couldn't get the medicine from the pharmacist for her baby. And, I, for one, I was like saying that she overreacts. She got to stay calm. She got to stay cool. Baby, let me tell you something about mental health and wellness. And this is why sometimes people explode. Incidents, I don't know if you guys know, but you're about to find out. I have macular degeneration, DMED for my eyes. It means that swelling in the back of my eyes, get on the optic nerve, and I lose my vision. So I have to get these injections in my eyes. I've been going through this since I came out of the hospital from getting necrotizing fasciitis, part of what, I don't have to say disabled, part of what ails me, okay? Long story short, I go into the doctor's office. Before I can see my doctor's appointment, they're sitting me down because they want to talk to me about outstanding balance, okay? I get help with my bill. I get good days. They give you, they help pay for the medicine that costs to get the injections in the eyes, because these are $3,000 ejections in each eye. So that's $6,000 of a doctor's visit. Who in their real life can afford something like that? Who? Okay, 3,000 these ejections. They cause Ozardex injections. Y'all can look them up. Okay, so after Medicare, which is federal for people that's disabled and retired. After they pay their portion, you know, there's a nice hefty 20% that they leave for us. Okay. 20% of $6,000 is still over $1,000 that I got to pay. That's $1,200 that I got to pay for each visit myself. So the Good Days people give you medical charity where they pick that up for you, for indigent families, people that qualify, okay? And because I'm now disabled, I qualify, okay? So I started with that in 2019, finally got some help with that. So 2019, they covered me. 20, they covered me. 21, they were saying that I needed proof that I do not have Maryland Medicaid. I do not qualify for Maryland Medicaid. And that's the whole thing. I tried to get it. It was like, no, you don't qualify. So we thought that we got that resolved. 2022 was covered. And it now is even covered. So then the doctor's office is going to send me down because they sent my balance to collection because something of 2021 Good Days didn't come back up and pick up that money. So they're going to send me to collections, right? So she's going to tell me, Miss McFarland, see, this is why people get upset. It is a failure in communication. Because you're looking at me like I'm deadbeat, like I don't pay all my bills. Every time I go to that doctor, I'm dropping off money. And I asked them, give me a receipt for everything I paid for 2022 for tax purposes and for purposes to show them that I got these medical expenses, right? They're going to say, you didn't pay nothing in 2022. And I'm like, oh, lies you tell, because they telling the bold-faced lie. And that's because somebody ain't doing their job right, okay? So I'm trying to stay calm while she's telling me I ain't paid nothing and I know my pockets say something different, okay? So I'm sitting there, I'm quiet. Then she hits me and we sent you to collections. Okay, first of all, you didn't notify me. You can't send me to collections because I've been paying every month on these bills, but you send it to collections anyway? Why? Something's wrong. Come to find out that the people in the billing office, they switch billers because they outsource their billing. People didn't do their job, but you're looking at me like I'm the culprit. You're looking at me like I'm the deadbeat, right? When I know I'm dealing with whatever hardship that comes my way, whatever God gives me come my way, I'm dealing with that. But then you have these other people looking at you like, oh, you ain't paying your bills. We sent you to collection. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. That's when the first word that came in my mind, I wasn't mad at the lady telling me this, but it was like, bitch, because it's like a shock word. Like, you know, that word, bitch, has more meaning and more power than you think. You know, when you release that, I was like, wait a minute. Hold up, something's wrong. First of all, I can do medical billing and coding with my eyes closed. I used to do that for a living, okay? I can do this stuff with my eyes closed. I said, your department, your billing department, not doing what they're supposed to do. I'm talking to the office manager in the office, and she's telling me, you got to go to the billing department. I said, no. I'm telling you, you got to go to your billing department and get my bills out of collections. I want a note of apology and resubmit them bills to Good Days where they're going to take care of all of that stuff. You already got that. Somebody didn't do their job and resubmit them claims way back at the beginning of 2022, because that's when this issue started, a whole year ago. And I'm trying to stay calm. I'm like, don't drop the ball and then try to put it on me. I am the patient. I'm already stressed out by getting these injections in my eyes. I am the patient. I'm already stressed out financially because I got to, every time I come to your office, and I've been doing that faithfully. But then you're going to turn to me and tell me that I owe, and you sent me to collections. And I stayed calm. I said, okay, I'm going to call them. Wait till I get home. I was fuming when I got home. I was late getting to see my doctor because I had to take care of that bill and stuff first. So the doctor was late getting out. That's why we didn't do the show yesterday. We had to put on a rewind for those of y'all who didn't notice. It was like a trickle down effect, and I tried to stay calm in my demeanor, because I just got a procedure done in the eyes and everything, and heads hurting and everything. When I got home, my blind ass was filling through my phone. Because I could see my little phone button. I talked in my phone, and I called Good Days, the people who give me the assistance. They was like, Miss McFarland, they were supposed to resubmit it. The last time we heard, they never sent us the bills, and we would pay the bills. And I was like, oh, that's what I figured. And I got the girl's name and everything. I couldn't even get my claim number because I couldn't see the vision. I couldn't even see if I was writing shit on paper or the desk or whatever. But she texted to me and I asked because she sent me an email. I got me an email, y'all, stated from Good Day, stating that it's covered. And what the doctor's office was supposed to do was resubmit them claims for payment. And she got permission from her supervisor to open up 2021. We're 2023 now. To go back and open up the till for 2021 and pay the rest of them daggone bills. Okay? So I called the doctor's office. Of course, now the office manager wasn't available to talk to me. I left a message. Still ain't got a return call. But it's okay because I'm going to call back today. And if they don't give me my recourse, because I want an apology letter and I want them to take my stuff out of collections. Because like I said, when you're looking for a job nowadays, they check your credit. They check your credit. And here I am on a fixed income and still trying to make it do what it do. And if you're paying something on a bill, they're not supposed to send you to collections because you're paying on the bill. It's a revolving door thing. And let me share this with you guys. If your bill goes to collection and you pay on it, like say your bill was from 2019, right? And you make one payment on the bill, if you're disputing it, you shouldn't make any payment on the bill because the bill starts aging from the date you make your payment. Even though it's the bill 7 years ago, because after 7 years, it's supposed to be washed. If you make one $5 payment, that's why they say, make a $5 payment. They got you and it resets the clock from the date that you owe. You know, because people think, oh, after 5 years or 7 years, the bills fall off. No, they don't. Especially when you make a payment. It starts your clock from there. Like I said, I was a coding insurance specialist billing guru. Okay. I was bad in my day. They used to call me the machine. I know what I'm talking about because I generated money, revenue for a lot of hospitals, Howard University, Georgetown, Washington Hospital Center, and a lot of physicians' office that I worked over my tenure, over my span of working. Okay. So, yeah, I was the gatekeeper to the money. That's how come I knew that they didn't do what they were supposed to. But they're looking at me like I grew two hairs because they didn't know what they were supposed to do. So should I get paid for helping them do their job? Or should I get paid for helping the doctor recover his monies? Huh? Don't I need some type of reconciliation? Don't I need some type of recompense? Where my satisfaction coming at? You know, like I told them, y'all need a new billing department, and I need to go over there and regulate because these people need to do their jobs. People are so lazy. And in programs where you're trying to get help, whoo, this is Wellness Wednesday, and I just had to get that off my chest. I was so about that. Good morning, y'all. Hey, family. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Miss Felicia. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Kenneth. Thank you, Kenneth. Molly. Good morning. Renee. Good morning, Renee. Hey, how you doing, girl? Oh, my goodness. Malik. Hey, how you doing? How are y'all doing? So this is what I had to deal with, you know. And I'm still dealing with it because I still got to make sure they got it on their end. You know, so yeah, give me my letter of apology, take me out of collections, and fix my account. And you know what I'm thinking? If I'm paying all this money, maybe I paid too much, and maybe they taking money and putting it on an account from 2021 where it shouldn't be. That's why it's not showing up in 2023. When that girl told me, "Oh, you didn't pay now," I'm like, "Oh, I got receipts, boo. Lie as you tell. Go back and find my money." And then she's gonna say, "Oh, we took it and we put it on this account." Because that account should have been paid by somebody else. You can take money from one till and put it in the other. So try to balance your books. Billing people, what are y'all doing? Anyway, that's enough of that. So yeah, but you best believe I'm gonna get it fixed. Sis gonna get it fixed. And they're gonna give me my receipts and show me what I paid. You know, especially it's a struggle to pay nowadays because of now I'm on the fix it come and I took that struggle and I paid you. That's struggle money. You know, it's like I got to pay you, or do I get a loaf of bread and a carton of eggs? You know, y'all, because I know that's $25 right there. You know, so that is struggle money. That's bill money that you done calmed out, and then they will tell you ain't pay nothing like you did. Oh no. Woo, Molly, baby. Thank you, Molly, for being my super producer. He's on the ones and the twos in the back. Molly is like my DJ. He keeps the party going. He keeps everything moving and flowing. And I want to take a moment to recognize him and what he do. And I want to thank him so much. I don't think I thank him enough. You know what I mean? That's my man, Molly Moss. He does a sea moss. Great with that stuff. The lemonade. So if y'all want to see some sea moss to help you and stay strong, see my man Molly Moss. He got that good lemonade with cumin and honey and all that good stuff in it. He do it all. Woo! I got to calm myself down. Okay, so today, where my clock at? Where my time clock at, Molly? I can't even see where I can't even see the clock because I can't even see nothing. It ain't even showing me nothing on my screen. Okay, but I think it's time for me to go ahead. Yep, it's time. Let's get to our first video.
First clip.
We get to our first clip. Good morning, sir. I'm visually impaired, but my eyes is a little better, but they still very sore from yesterday. Good thing my hands ain't sore because I was ready to whoop some butt yesterday. But I ain't even gonna do that. I
don't need you fighting out there, Reese.
I know I would easily catch a charge, and I'm always telling people you gotta calm down. But you know, people can get you riled up like that, though, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta fight for circumstances like this.
What up, Nick? I see Kenny in here. What up, y'all? About to play this clip for y'all. Y'all get y'all thoughts in the comments.
Flesh-eating disease is very rare, but believe me when I say the bacteria which causes this fatal condition can be found on your skin even right now. How do these common bacteria cause such a fatal disease? Let's find out today on Tiny Medicine. Necrotizing means causing the death of tissues. Fasciitis means inflammation of the fascia. Fascia is the tissue layer situated below the skin, which covers deep structures like muscles, fat, and nerves. Group A Streptococcus is a common bacteria living on our skin. They usually don't cause us any harm, but when the skin is injured in abrasions, minor cuts, burns, or insect bites, the bacteria can translocate into the deep layers of the skin and cause infections. Necrotizing fasciitis occurs when such bacteria infect the fascial layer of the skin. It can spread rapidly and involve fat, muscles, nerves, and cause extensive tissue death. That's why it's known as flesh-eating disease. However, Group A Streptococcus is not the only bacteria capable of causing this deadly disease. Sometimes, a polymicrobial or a mixture of bacteria like Staphylococcus, Pseudomonas, and Clostridium can also cause this condition. Symptoms include red or purple rash in the affected area, severe pain, and fever. As the disease progresses, you can notice blisters and black discoloration as tissues start to die. The bacteria can even spread into the bloodstream and cause a fatal condition called sepsis. It can also release toxins into the blood and cause another fatal condition known as toxic shock syndrome. In both these conditions, the blood pressure will fall rapidly, and there's a high risk of multi-organ failure. Patients with diabetes, kidney disease, liver disease, and cancer are at high risk of developing necrotizing fasciitis because of their poor immunity. Doctors will use the clinical features to come to a diagnosis. Blood investigations, taking tissue samples from the affected area, and imaging through CT or MRI scans will help confirm the diagnosis. Treatment should be started as soon as possible. The main treatments are intravenous antibiotics, surgery to remove the infected tissue, and supportive treatment to maintain the blood pressure. These patients are looked after in intensive care units. But unfortunately, up to 1 in 3 people with necrotizing fasciitis die from the infection. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and press the bell for more informative medical and health videos.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I'm bringing that to y'all to let y'all know that that can happen to anybody, any one of us, and at any time. Okay. Okay. Anybody, any one of us at any time, because it lives on the surface, and it lives on the surface of our body. It's just one of those things that it just is, like the air we breathe, right? But that's why you got to be careful when you get mosquito bites or any cuts, to make sure you put that alcohol on there and clean it and get disinfected, because you don't want something to happen. And sometimes things can be beyond your control, like hospital settings is notorious for that bacteria all over the surface of everything. Because let me tell you a little story. I know about necrotizing fasciitis because that was started my rapid decline in the health, because I actually caught necrotizing fasciitis. Went to the hospital to get a cyst the size of a dime, people, size of a dime, removed. The hospital was in disarray. The OR was dirty. I caught the bacteria from dirty instruments. Okay. In a couple of hours, I went from no fever. I didn't have any fever. I didn't have any infection in my bloodstream, to having after surgery, 103 fever. The area was affected. That when I say that stuff moves fast, it moves fast. Okay. The hospital that I was in said that they couldn't do nothing for me. They did the tissue samples and said, "Oh my gosh, you got the flesh-eating bacteria. We can't do nothing for you. You just got to go home and die," right? But the people at the hospital infectious wound disease team, that lady looked at me. She was like, "You know what? You going out of here, but you're not going home." They took me to University of Maryland Hospital in Baltimore. Beautiful hospital. Beautiful. Okay. They got to work on my butt. I had the intravenous drugs. My body was resistant. It wouldn't act right. I had a MSSA. Okay. That's what they call it. The strand. I had the strand of streptococcus called Klebsiella. I wasn't in no club acting silly, but it was called Klebsiella. You know, I was late. I didn't even know how sick I was. They told my parents, because it got in the bloodstream, they told them that I was going to die. She ain't going to make it. I only had 27% chance of making it because of this nasty virus, this nasty bacteria that I got from a doctor, because he wasn't thorough enough to do what it was that he needed to do, okay? At the local area hospital. I ain't even going to say that hospital name. Shame on you. And if you close down and burn down, sorry. But yeah. So I went through 7 surgeries to try to get above the infection, because they have to keep cutting you to try to do the debridements. I underwent hyperbaric chamber treatment. I underwent wound vac, and I even had a colostomy bag. They even had to do that. You know, they told my family I was laid in the ICU for 28 days. Right. I don't know what happened. God touched me. The spirits, the ancestors, whoever was with me, they was with me. And that's why I'm with y'all today. Okay, whatever you believe in. But I'm spiritual. I know it was the hand of God that kept me here. And I'm here for a reason. Okay. And it was very hard to bounce back from, because I had to spend almost 6 months in a nursing home. After that, I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn. My legs looked shriveled up. It looked like I don't know what. You know, it a lot of physical therapy, a lot of stuff. The medicine they gave me did stuff to my nerves and did stuff, because the medicine that they was giving me, the antibiotic, it can also damage your organs. And they were saying that the necrotizing fasciitis got in the bloodstream, and it went to the heart, it went to the liver, it went to the lungs, the kidneys, and the mind, right? The bacteria travel all over. And it was because this is where Wellness Wednesday coming at, because I was a diabetic. And I'm going to admit I did not take care of myself like I was supposed to back then, because I was always on the go, always working, always trying to make something happen. Didn't watch my health, didn't watch what I was eating, didn't care, because I would just work, didn't get the proper rest, no proper food, no proper rest, no proper exercise, didn't get none of that. And it made me susceptible to that nasty virus, because had my immune system been strong and I got my proper rest and had my diabetes under control, when that man cut me and he cut the wrong way, my body would have been strong enough to kind of push back that bacteria or that. But because I was already tired and weak, when they cut me, when the man that did the surgery to try to remove the cyst, when he cut me, it was just like, take me. So I'm saying all that Wellness Wednesday, you got to be very mindful of what you put in your body and how your body run, because we're mindful of what kind of gas we give our car. Our body is an engine. Our body is like that. You ain't going to give if your car needs super to run properly, you're not going to give it no regular. If it needs 93, you ain't going to give it 87. Because when you give it the lower grade of gas, it makes that engine knock funny, complications, and don't run it smooth and all that other stuff. And that's not what you want. Your body is an engine. And we can't take our body for granted. And I did. That's like if I can tell y'all about what I did. That's how I can tell y'all about where I messed up at. So health is wealth. And I'm passing on a plethora of riches to y'all when I tell y'all about what's going on here. And let me see. Molly, are we about ready for the next video? Because these two go hand in hand. Let me see. Okay, we were ready for the next video, Molly Mo. Whenever you got it up. This is another bacteria stuff that we got to watch, and it's on our bodies. And I'm explaining to you why I'm bringing Wellness Wednesday to you in this way right after this video. Well, as soon as we get the video up, here we go.
Marshall Jones of College Station, Texas, recently had a brush with death, and it began with an ingrown hair.
And then after 2 or 3 days, it still wasn't any better, so I went to the doctor because it was starting to get hardened under there. The doctor lanced it, thought it was a spider bite.
As it turned out, the true culprit was not a spider, but a dangerous germ known as methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, or MRSA.
It started off just on the back of my neck, and then it worked its way into the bloodstream, and eventually it attached itself to one of my heart valves.
MRSA causes staph infections that don't respond to many conventional antibiotics. Hospital patients are the most vulnerable, but doctors have identified a strain that strikes healthy people, and it's on the rise.
It's spreading very rapidly across this country, and so there are hardly any geographic regions in this country that aren't experiencing some problem with community-associated MRSA.
While this type of staph infection can strike anyone, the CDC has recorded outbreaks in children, military recruits, prison inmates, and athletic teams.
There's lots of skin-to-skin contact. There's lots of opportunities for breakage in the skin. There's lots of opportunities for shared contaminated items, such as towels and razors and this sort of thing.
When they get a break in the skin, the Staph aureus can get into the subcutaneous tissues under the skin and start an infection. Most community-acquired Staph aureus infections are of the skin.
But sometimes, a skin infection can progress to something far more serious. In Marshall's case, the bacteria attacked one of his heart valves, shut down his kidneys, and nearly took his life.
If the organism gets into the bloodstream, then it's much more serious than if it's simply in the skin or subcutaneous tissues.
It was very, very scary to see him laying there in ICU on the ventilator. Every time I went in there, I was whispering in his ear, "Fight those bugs. Come on, you're the strongest person I know. You'll be fine. You fight them."
Marshall's doctors had a limited arsenal to help him with the fight. He was allergic to vancomycin, one of the few antibiotics that works against MRSA. After 33 days in the hospital and various antibiotic cocktails, Marshall beat the infection, but not without a price.
The infection caused a lot of damage to my spine, and so I still have lower back pain that I get if I do strenuous activity. I have neuropathy, which is nerve damage down my legs and on my toes. So I tend to drag my feet when I walk, little things like that.
There are steps you can take to protect yourself. The first is to use antibiotics sparingly.
The more antibiotics that you receive in your lifetime, the more likely you will be colonized with antibiotic-resistant organisms. And if you then develop an infection, the more likely it is that that infection will not respond to the usual antibiotics that we use.
In addition, avoid sharing personal items, such as razors. Wash your hands regularly. And if you notice an infected cut or sore with a lot of swelling or pus, see your doctor right away.
All right. That's the second one. That's why I brought that to you guys. That was MRSA, MRSA. They call it MRSA. And a lot of people, say about MRSA. Now, before this pandemic came out, I caught MRSA in 2017. I know y'all was like, dang, she caught the necrotizing fasciitis and then she caught the MRSA. This is funny. This is how I caught the MRSA. Okay, recovering from the necrotizing fasciitis and all that, dealing with the neuropathy and the nerve damage in my leg, especially on the left side. It was my son and my cousin was putting together a shelf for me to put the microwave on. A screw, it was out on the floor, and I'm walking through the house with socks on. Screw within my foot. Okay, my foot at the bottom of my foot, like in the middle part. And that part ended up getting infected, but that's not how I caught the MRSA. Okay, had surgery on my foot and everything. They cut out the little infected part. Everything's healing. I'm doing good, right? Ended up wearing them little shoe boots. I'm trying to keep up with my sister, and we walking, we going all over the place because I didn't sit my butt down. I didn't listen to the doctor, and was sitting down somewhere with my foot rested up. So my pinky toe was rubbing against that shoe boot. And because of the neuropathy of the nerve damage from prior injuries or from prior diabetes being out of control, I didn't feel it, okay? And it caused a blister to form. Not just any blister, but a blister carrying that MRSA bacteria. I must have picked it up from somewhere being out because you can either get it HP, that's hospital, or you can get it CA, that's in casual, settings. That's regular, like out in the street or whatever. You either get it from the hospital or the bacteria out in the street. But because I had surgery, I'm not sure, did I get it from the hospital or did I get it from the street? It don't matter. I ended up getting MRSA on that toe. A blister formed, the blister popped, and that's how my pinky toe got infected because of the blister on the toe. I was going to the doctor and he was looking at it. He was like, your toe is infected. This blister on the toe, and it happened so quick. And he took a sample, he took a culture, and the next thing you know, I was in the hospital because my foot, that toe, looked black and crusty, looked like what's it called, a Brazil nut. And I know we used to call them nigger toes. They looked just like there was a black girl. I was like, oh no. I said, what happened to the toe? He said, you got to make a decision. We could try to treat it with that toe intact, and you take the chance of your other toes getting affected, and your other toe, your foot getting affected. That pinky toe, my girlfriend used to always say she wanted her foot skinny and narrow to get into shoes, and she wanted her pinky toe cut off. No, you don't. I told him, take that pinky toe. If pinky got to go, pinky got to go. I had MRSA. They ended up taking my pinky toe, but it saved the rest of my foot. I went on to heal good, but it wasn't without loss because I am not allergic to the vancomycin. So they was giving me the vancomycin, which unfortunately they had to stop and start because it was affecting my kidneys. My heart function went down to 23% function. So it was like I was kind of messed up. I'm like, here we go again. I just got all jacked up in 2014 and 15. Then 2017, I get it because I didn't sit my butt down. I didn't listen to the doctor. I was out there traveling, doing everything. Didn't sit my butt down, take the time for me to heal like I was supposed to. Okay? These bacteria and diseases are all over on surfaces. That's why it's important that you keep your hands washed. And it's important that you keep your hands out your face. And it's important as soon as you get a cut, an abrasion, or mosquito bite, that you tend to yourself. Health is wealth, people. And it's important that you realize that and take control of that part right there. And let me look down here and see what the people say. The people not saying nothing. Hey, y'all. Hey, Nene. Hey, Slicky Woo Boo. Hey, $1 Million Moments. It says you should be, what did it say? You should be rich. Sue them. Oh, let me tell you why I couldn't sue. Check this out. So, I should have been rich, but guess what? But because when I caught the necrotizing fasciitis, I needed to sue the hospital. I looked into attorneys. I had 4 different law firms. I called the damn what's the Cochran firm. I called not Jacoby or My Science of Kurt. I had called Kopech Inspector. Kopech Inspector, they were good until they couldn't. So he referred me to another attorney. It's $1 million attorney named Millings, something like that. Millings. Okay. So they told me they got all my medical records and stuff now. I was in the ICU for a month. This is with the necrotizing fasciitis. I was quarantined. I was at a banging hospital. I was at three different institutions when I got sick. First was the doctor's hospital. They didn't do what they supposed to. That's why I got sick at doctors. Then they transferred me to University of Maryland, which saved my life because they had an infectious disease team down there, and it's a school. So, you get the gist. So I was going to doctor's hospital and that doctor. Okay, after they got all the medical records done and everything done, they said because I spent the time in the ICU, 7 surgeries, hyperbaric chamber treatment, a wound vac, and all of that stuff, and then 6 months in the nursing home, by the time I sued them, I would have nothing. He said, it's not worth your while to sue. He said, Miss McFarland, he said, you wouldn't have nothing. He said, after I take my fee and you pay all your bills, you will have nothing. And I was telling him as I was crying, because I said, it's not about me having nothing. It's about me them getting away with destroying my life. What is my life worth? And you know what he told me? He was honest. Because he's $1 million attorney, he said that his life, of course, is worth way more than what they put the value on my life. And is it because that I was a Black woman that they said that I wasn't worth enough for them to sue for? Is that what they saying? That's because that's what I heard as I sat there. Me and my cousin Deidre sitting there in the attorney's office. And I started bawling and crying because I'm like, I went through all this hell and suffering because the doctor did a oops. And I can't even go back and hurt him, turn his pockets, hurt that facility. When, believe you me, y'all, when I said mental health is wealth, because I wanted to go back and do some bodily harm to that man. And I knew I couldn't tell nobody what I wanted to do to that doctor because I would got arrested, because I thought it. And if something would happen to that doctor, they would have said, oh, that's premeditated. So you have to take your lumps and go and try to live your best life. Now you're disabled. Now you're struggling. All of this stuff is happening. But that doctor is still walking around probably taking other people's lives, making oops and mistakes, because there was another man that got transferred down to the University of Maryland Hospital. And I heard the lady say, why they keep doing this? They keep sending another patient down there. That man didn't want to get an ostomy bag done, a colonoscopy bag, and he died. I was like, hope Jody blow. Because they told me, Miss McFarland, you need this, to keep the wound clean. Now you got to go. And I was like, go ahead, give me the bag. If that's going to help me preserve my life, give me the bag. That man didn't, and he was a white man, an older white man. I think I was only 42 at the time, just turned 42 at the time. didn't get the surgery. He was like, nah, because the man was like 54. He was still young. And he was like, no, I'm not getting you ain't going to put no shit bag on my side. You ain't going to do that. Okay. We was in the same nursing home, and that man expired. And they said because he couldn't keep his wound clean, because they couldn't keep it clean, because he didn't have that procedure done to divert, because he had his in the groin area, and it ended up killing him. I thank God, because I had a disease that the survival rate is only 27%. Y'all, that's less than half. So the spirits, the ancestors, the Father was with me to survive that. And I guess it was the fight, because as I was going in and out of consciousness, because for a long time, for like a month, I didn't know nothing. All they did was drug me up because the pain was that excruciating. I even have a video of them changing. I had a wound that was 17 inches long, 4 inches wide, and 4 inches deep. You may not think that's a lot. 17 inches long, wide, and deep. And they had to pack that wound, because the wound is like this. It has to close like this. It can't close like that, because that if you close like that, then the inside you can get affected. It has to close, come together, and close like that, y'all. So that's why they had to keep it impacted. It was a special solution. They had to put the gauze in. It was wild. It was wild. It seemed like yesterday. It's like when you're going through stuff, it seemed like it's going to last forever. But when I look back on it, it just seemed like just yesterday. And I thank God that I'm here to talk to y'all now. And I'm here to talk to y'all for a reason. It's the reason why all this stuff has happened. It's the reason why I had to sit down, because, man, when they set me down, I was making money. I had started my business. I was traveling. I was doing my comedy. What? I was taking off. And I had a lot of people around me. But as soon as I got sick, it fell out. Well, nobody but God, but the grace of God that helped me and showed me. And he shook the tree, and the seawood fell. And all my so-called friends, they left you. How you in a hospital and you call somebody and they say, I'll call you back. Not only did I get debridement from the dead skin and what I went through with the surgery, I got debridement from the so-called fake friends. And it let me humble myself. It took that cockiness out of me, because when you laying there like you on the cross, one hand in the IV, other hand on the blood pressure kit, and you got tubes going out your neck, and you can't even control your bowels. You sitting there crying, messing on yourself. Couldn't control nothing. That will humble you. Not having control of your bodily functions. That will humble you. A stranger having to come in there and clean and wipe your behind. That will humble you. You got to go through something to come out of something so you can tell your story. So when I talk to people, they don't know my story because I keep smiling. Because I know I have favor, and it was His mercy and grace that kept me here. I don't care what you say, because I know I didn't do it. I know them doctors did me in, but I know I didn't do it. And I know, like I said, what I went through. I was working, walking, talking, doing everything, traveling, going to California, going to Hawaii, and doing shows in Delaware. I was on my comedy road. Had my little follower and was getting booked. And also in school, halfway through my bachelor's in healthcare management. Just had a couple more classes, and I would have been finished. Okay? Started my business, AM Morning Medical Solutions. Billing and coding. I went into business for myself. Money got good. Everything was going swell. Okay? working 4 days a week, banging and getting the money. Then on the weekend, traveling and doing comedy circuits and doing whatever. Everything seemed like it was clicking. Friends around me, it wouldn't be nothing. I called somebody. I had my own whip, thought I was cute, getting my hair done every 2 weeks, getting my nails done, getting my feet done, spending $100 on some damn lashes. What was I doing? I saved money. My child was away, redid the house, doing all of that stuff, living what I thought was my best life. Having people around me, though, that were maybe not so good for me, but I was living my best life, honey. As soon as I got sick, when they found out I was sick and I wasn't coming back as quick as they thought, when they found out I was sick and they thought I was dying, when they found out I was sick, laying in my bed, hospital bed, and you wake up and a priest is in the room with you, and you be like, wait a minute. All I was doing was taking a nap. I ain't dead. And they ask you, can I pray for you? Can I pray over you? No, Father, you can't. You get on out of my room. Because God didn't tell me that it was time for you to come in. But the nurses had asked the Father to come in. Because when you really sick or when they don't expect you to make it, they ask the chapel from the hospital or the Father to come in and pray over you. I guess like to give you your last rites or whatever you could do. But I didn't know I was that sick. And that's because a trickle-down effect of things. One and foremost, this is Wellness Wednesday. Take care of yourself. If you took care of yourself the proper way, you wouldn't be in that situation where a man with a scalpel can do a oops. And I blame that on me because I was living life too fast and on my own terms and really not giving a damn back then. I'ma say it, y'all. I was a stone cold bitch. Yes, I was. I would turn my nose up you in a minute, like, huh? I didn't even look up at people. I looked down at their feet first. And if I wasn't impressed with your footwear, I didn't even give you my eyes. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Turn my head. They was like, she bougie, or she antisocial, or she whatever. Thought I was, I was a different type of person. And that's because the paper, the chatter was coming in. You had the paper. You act funny. You act differently, But when that paper gone, them notes, then you see who your real friends is. And you see who's really around you. And you humble yourself. You was like, damn, I had a fan base. And this is another thing. All my comedic friends, when I came back to the circus, you know what they said? I thought you was dead. I thought you was dead. And I'm like, nigga, if I was dead, did you send some flowers? You ain't even come to the funeral. They ain't even come to my funeral, y'all. How you gonna say I thought you was dead and you ain't even come to the funeral? You didn't come to the funeral, you didn't send me no flowers. What kind of friend are you? You thought I was dead. I'm like, well, Dad, you didn't send me no flowers. But you got to take care of yourself. You got to put you first. And if you took care of yourself, health is wealth. I cannot stress that enough. Like I said, Molly, come in here and talk to me with these people. Because I'm going to need you, Molly, if you can, to read the people comments. Because I had my procedure done in the eyes yesterday. Oh, and let me tell y'all, yesterday we had a fabulous time at Bar 210. The Gwen Factor couldn't make it, unfortunately, but me and Michelle Pucciarelli, we handled our business. We're freaking funny. That's what we were. We were freaking funny. And I want to thank all of the comedians and the comments that came out yesterday. Let me see if I can remember everybody's name. We had my man Q, who is now hosting at Farouk's Lounge for Lateef Idris while Lateef is on his sabbatical. Farouk Lounge, Monday night, hot spot, love it. We had D Sharp. D Sharp got his room tonight at Lucky's Bar and Grill on Wednesday. If y'all ain't doing nothing, go to my boy D Sharp space. And Wednesday night, Waffle them is having a comedy showcase where they're giving out $400 to the winner. And then $100 to the second runner-up who do the best set. It's on Sutler Road. I can't think of the name of the place. Forgive me. Y'all gonna have to Google and do some research for that. So Oral was there last night. Miss Rita was there last night. D. Sharp was there last night. Clarence Mixon was there last night. Carlton Burrell was there last night. Q was there last night. Myself, Michelle, Jamon Darnell was there last night. Like I said, we had a good time last night. There was a lot of people that came through last night, and we want to thank you for keeping the Bar 210 comedy night. We do comedy and improv. There was so many comedians that we didn't even do the improv part. But hey, next Tuesday we might get around to doing the improv part when the Gwen Factor come back. And speaking of the Gwen Factor, I do have to say that she's been very busy as well. She's going to be at DC Improv with Jess Niche. Y'all know Jess Niche, heavyset girl that be cutting up. She's traveling all over the world. The Gwen Factor is going to be there with Jess Niche on Thursday and Friday. Okay, y'all got to look up the showtime and the rest of it because I don't got all that information. Or go on the page, the Gwen Factor Comedy or the Gwen Factor, and you can see all her dates and shows coming up. Then on Saturday, I know she's going to be banging in Bowie. Yes, she's going to be banging in Bowie with Joe Claire, Melanie Camacho, and Ray Diva. So that's a ladies show. That's going to be awesome. And guess who's going to be there? Yes, freaking funny going to be there. Michelle Pucciarelli and myself. We're going to be there. And we're going to be in the lobby after the 10 o'clock show passing out merchandise. Be there when you get the merchandise. Because you can also get the Gwen Factor merchandise. And I'm going to be there selling my Shades of Blue merchandise. Which reminds me that Saturday, Shades of Blue, Key to Life office at Molly. Remind me to send you the flyer for that. I'm trying to get everything in. Because I got my book thing coming up for this book right here, Shades of Blue. Y'all gonna get a breakdown of the book. For those of y'all who ain't got it, go get it. It's a good book. It may be difficult to read at first, but once you get into the book, you will understand a lot of stuff, and it might help you with your travels and your journey. This is a good book because it's real. It's based on stuff that happened for fictional characters, but real life situations. I'm gonna say that. And go and grab your book and get your attitude when you read it because it's like that. It's going to take you back. It's a period piece because it goes back from the 70s to now. And this is the first book out of 5. So this is like from 70s maybe to the 80s. I don't even think this ain't even get into the 90s yet. So this book, the first one right here, Shades of Blue, it gives you a breakdown of who the character is. And Blue is this person who life just happens to. Okay. And that's all of us. Any of us could be blue at any given time and any given day. Thank you for tuning in, with me for holding it and banging it, to the Wellness Wednesday. Molly, can you come in and read what some of the people saying?
Yeah, many people say much. Nene just slid in and said, hey, good morning. Jonetta O'Neill said, but God. Kenny Can, what's up? KC said, Preston thought we building dorms. Some nigga named Marley said, God gives and take. You know that nigga?
Yeah, Molly. Yeah,
Malik
he
was
like
in
that.
here. He said, you can't pay a bill with a bill.
What that mean?
Add some, because
Malik, what does
basically
that
saying
mean?
you trying to make a bill. I guess what you was talking about, you trying to pay a bill with a bill. Like you was bill, but trying to pay another bill with what you was bill. I don't know. You got to explain that.
Maybe he's talking about them. They was taking my money for something else and putting it on where they wanted it to go and not where I wanted it to go, maybe.
That's probably what he's talking about.
Yeah, when the people
that's
take
about
money.
it. Slicky Woo was asleep today.
He's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Look, don't let the Joneses get you down. And I hope I broke down the difference between MRSA and flesh-eating bacteria that we got on our bodies right now, Molly. You got it on your body.
And
right
on
now.
your
But you got to
faces,
keep,
on everything, you know. Let
yeah,
them sell it.
you got to keep your immune system up and stuff. And I think about all the vaccines, and you heard the doctors in both clips that say because they're antibiotic resistance, and it's telling people if you take a whole bunch of antibiotic, guess what? When you get sick with something else, like they defrosting in Antarctica, you're gonna be your body gonna be immune to the antibiotics and not gonna help you because they are defrosting ancient bacteria that's been in the ice for thousands of years, ain't they, Marley?
Yeah, I'm just, you know,
Digging it
I'm
up.
just curious. I be curious of them doctors, but you definitely got to keep up yourself, keep yourself clean, eat right, you know, because eventually your body gonna break down, and then when they do, that's when you depending on them, and then they tell you it's gonna take this, but they hustlers, they drug dealers, they just got on white coats, so they trying to do surgery, they want to give you medicine, so. I don't trust it. You know, I just think of it like we been getting cuts. I've been getting paper cuts playing football. I'm talking about them winning games. My whole leg is damn near bleeding. I went back out there, played in the dirt. Ain't none of this shit happening, you know. So a lot of these things they create and they give it a fancy name. And now people going through and you paying money for surgery, you don't have no idea what it's about. But I be wondering like what where this come from? You know, that's what I be more. What's the history on that disease? How did it come about? Why is it that our ancestors, I'm pretty sure they ain't had the medicine, antibiotics. How was they getting cut and somehow not going through what we going through? Shit catching on to their heart valves and all that. So I don't be trusting a lot of them doctors. They make up, you know, problems so they can be the solution. And they always got the solution somehow, you know. So it's scary, you know, but at the end of
I
the
think
day,
they're giving it to us. I
yeah,
believe they're giving it. I believe we're test subjects, and I believe they're giving it to us. They're giving certain people certain drugs, certain placebos to see how they do. So I
yeah.
believe they're giving us, they're creating more health problems and issues so they can keep us coming back for the money.
Man,
You
if
know,
I was
and it
them,
could
I'd
be
do it.
in those vaccines that they're giving us. Because you know, babies, when we're a baby, we don't control that we got to get our shots, our booster shots, and all of that. We don't know what all that stuff is nowadays, and we don't know what they mixing up because the pharmacies that's mixing it up ain't even in this country no more.
You know,
A lot of our
yeah.
stuff come from China, y'all. And if we're at war with China, why is so much of our medical stuff come from the places that we're fighting with? That don't make sense.
Nope. Only thing makes sense to me is if I'm a find out how to take care of my body, I'm not gonna experiment on my people. I'm gonna experiment on monkeys or some other things. So if we can't do the monkeys, if the monkeys not a good enough subject, they gonna go for the black people. We next. We on the lower scale. It might be some white people going through the same thing, but poor people, we gotta be careful out here, you know, because they gotta experiment on somebody to figure out how these things work, and eventually it be us. You know, you don't know if you're allergic to something unless you take it. You know, so they don't know if these surgery and things work unless somebody actually need it and then they try it. They gonna fail it a few times, but eventually they get it, you know. But I just don't want to be part of that percentage that they fail, you know. That's it.
You and me both, Molly.
But
You
yeah,
and me
good show,
both.
though. Good show, good Wellness Wednesday. I think they got a lot of information today.
I hope so. And thank y'all for letting me vent, and thank y'all for riding and banging with me. You know, and I appreciate the Morning Max show. And you know, thank Molly for helping me engineering and putting this thing together that we can come virtually and give it to y'all. And I just want to say thank you and I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow for Tall Tale Thursdays. And I'm bringing the conversation back to the black woman for tomorrow because I got something for y'all. Again, it's Tall Tale Thursday, believe it or not.
All right, see you in the back room, Rick. Love y'all. Later.